Hello and welcome. It's the 17th of August. It's Gamescom week. Everyone is eating bratwurst and drinking from steins, and there is a ton of gaming news already coming out of the Colm mess. And this is before Sony and Microsoft have even had their conferences, so we know it's going to be a pretty busy week. And we're just going to kick things off right away because we've had the likes of Ubisoft have announced things, Bandai Namco, Tecmo Koei, everyone. And we're just going to dive right in with Tekken 7. We've got new characters and story details, which are going to be quite exciting for some people. First thing to say is that the fan favourite fighter Li Shaolin has returned together with his secret alter ego Violet for the latest installment in the King of the Iron Fist tournament. So to give you a bit of background, Li Shaolin was adopted by Heiichi Mishima, who was meant to be a rival to his son Kazuya. And as Kazuya's adopted brother, Lee was given the same education upbringing fit in the Mishima clan, but after being expelled for reasons unknown, Lee then went and founded Violet Systems, which is a tech company which specialised in development of humanoid robotics, and it turned out to be quite successful. Probably worked on Deus Ex. So Tekken 7 is going to have an engaging story mode. There's going to be several hours of gameplay. There's going to be a lot of side stories that players can unlock things progressively, and they can not only can they play as the Mishimas in the story mode, but there are going to be other arcs that involve fighters outside the Mishima clan, such as Claudio Serafino and his group of exorcists. New screenshots have also been revealed which show a very young Kazuya fighting his father, with more details to be revealed while experiencing the story of this game. And it's even going to be a new stage for Claudio, which shows off the fantastic graphic capabilities of Tekken 7, so we're going to look forward to that. But yeah, let's dive right into the Ubisoft announcements because, oh my word, have they been busy. So kick things off with Watchdogs 2. It's been announced that it's going to get a brand new PvP bounty hunter mode. Now, as you may already know from Watchdogs 1, there is the online component was kind of like you stay connected to Watchdogs. You could just jump in at any point. You could co-op with people. You could jump in other people's games. And that is sort of still intact. There's going to be no lobbies or loading screens in Watchdogs 2. And with online co-op, you can always meet other players as long as you're online. You can form co-op teams, play lots of co-op missions together, try to get the best score. There's still online invasions where you can fight off other players trying to break into your online systems. You can obviously still invade other players, but with the Bounty Hunter edition, which is a brand new thing, if you actually cause too much chaos in the game, so you're running over too many people, you're causing too much destruction and mayhem in the city, you actually get a Bounty Hunter contract on your head, and this gradually grows and grows the more damage you cause. And what happens then, once the contract gets bigger and bigger, up to 3 players can actually jump into your game and hunt you down to try and claim the bounty. However, you can also turn the tables on them and you can hunt down those that are tracking you to get even bigger rewards. So it's going to be quite a dynamic game because obviously you're going to be playing, and as you're playing, you're gradually causing more and drawing more attention to yourself, and obviously you're reacting to the world and the world around you is reacting to you. So that's quite a fascinating addition, and I think with Watchdogs there's been this issue in the past with it not quite working out the way people intended, but I think this always online connectivity really suits the mold of the game, and I think this is quite an interesting addition that could, really factor in and kind of change the gameplay somewhat. It'll change the way you play the game and it changes how you react to the game, so that's going to be really interesting to watch out for. On top of that, For Honor has had its full roster of player heroes announced. It's going to have 12 in total, 4 from each era, so you can have 4 Elite Warriors from the Vikings, Samurai and Knight era. There's also going to be 5 multiplayer modes. You can have Dominion, Brawl, Duel, Elimination and Skirmish. And on top of that, a collector's case has been announced exclusive to Uplay that's going to contain premium content and scale helmet replicas. And the game comes out on Valentine's Day next year, so it's going to be between that and 50 Shades of whatever, I guess. So better make your decision now. Ghost Recon Wildlands has also got an announcement. It's going to have a brand new character and weapon additions to the game, so you can adapt and add camouflage, silencers, scopes, change magazines and adjust costumes in various different ways. Your characters can be as dynamic as you like, and they can really tweak and adjust them in various different ways, and the customization seems like it's going to be really up there with some of the most customizable games and shooters you've seen to date. That comes out on the 7th of March next year, so we're going to look forward to that. And also Ubisoft's open world skier is going to be announced, called Steep. It's going to be released on December the 2nd this year, and it's also going to have a new gold edition with additional collectibles, so keep an eye out for that. Now, probably the most humorous and popular story that Ubisoft have actually announced is that South Park The Fractured But Whole is getting the Oculus Rift demos at trade shows and conventions. Now, this isn't for sale, so whatever you believe or whatever you think you've heard, this is not for sale. This is just going to be shown to the press at Gamescom and maybe Eurogamer and other expos. But essentially what it is, it allows you to play the game from an immersive perspective where you're basically smelling farts. Yeah. But as you can imagine, I don't think that it's probably the best idea to sell that on the market. But it's a bit of fun for the press. It's a nice way to market the game, and it's kind of authentic South Park humor. But yeah, Oculus Rift is not something you can buy, but it's just a bit of fun for the press and a bit of fun for marketing. But yeah, that's one of their big things they've announced this time. In a surprise announcement, the Crew is continuing to get support and is actually getting a second major expansion on November the 29th called Calling All Units. Now, this is going to be a bit more sort of like Burnout-esque because you can have the opportunity as racers to take on the police. There's not much more detail on it as yet, but essentially it seems like there's going to be a lot of additional races where you can go head to head with the cops. There's going to be a lot more interactivity within the world, and the cops are going to play more of a role when however you're playing the game. And it just seems like it's going to try and mix things up just slightly, because I mean, the Crew has been one of these games that seems to be continually updated and seems to have quite a dedicated fan base, but hasn't really cracked the mainstream market. This expansion is going to come out on November 29th, and an Ultimate Edition will be released at the same time, which will catch all of the content that's been released for the game so far. I told you Ubisoft had a lot to announce. We're still going. Just Dance 2017 World Cup competition is going to happen in Paris on February 2017, which is in partnership with ESWC, which is a leading esports event. And it's going to be open to players worldwide, as this is actually going to be the third time that Just Dance had a world championship. And this sort of coincides with the game's release on October the 28th on pretty much every platform known to mankind, except for Nintendo NX, which is going to get a specialized version whenever that system launches. Currently we're looking at around March 2017. So yeah, the Just Dance World Cup competition, there's going to be prize money there. There's an opportunity for everyone to jump in and get involved. So if you fancy yourself pretty handy at Just Dance, it may be worth you taking a look and getting involved with that. Finally, this really is it for Ubisoft so far anyway. Champions of Anteria finally has a demo on Windows, and it's available right now via Uplay. This is essentially a real-time tactical strategy game, and you can go into like a magical realm, so it's kind of like very fantasy orientated. You can have the power of 5 champions and attempt to reclaim the kingdom from oppressors. The game actually comes out in full on August the 30th, but you can check it out right now for free on Uplay if you have it on PC. Whew, that's enough from Ubisoft. We now jump to Bethesda. Elder Scrolls Online Update 11 is finally come to consoles. Now, this has already been available on PC since August the 1st, but this brings 2 new Argonian-themed 4-player dungeons. The expansion is called Shadows of the Hist, and it's also going to add the Style Parlor, which lets you change your player's name, your race, your appearance. You can have costume dyeing and a large selection of cosmetic and life additions. And finally, probably the most exciting thing for console players is the addition of the long-awaited text chat feature. So it's going to make it a lot easier for you to converse with your friends as you've already enjoyed on PC. So that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works on console. So the Shadows of the Hist 2 dungeon pack will be available via the game store for 1,500 crowns. The appearance and race change tokens are 1,000 crowns each, and the name change tokens go for a whopping 2,500 crowns. So be prepared to spend if you're not quite happy with your name. Koei Tecmo. They've announced details of a new downloadable beta demo for Nioh. Now, Nioh is kind of a beautiful samurai action RPG, and the beta demo is going to be available from the PlayStation Store from the 23rd of August until the 6th of September, after which the demo will be completely disabled. So this is a way for you to play, get a chance to obtain the special to be revealed Mark of the Conqueror DLC, as well as a chance to try out the all-new Mark of the Strong DLC. So the alpha demo came out in April, and it had a lot of generous feedback from the community. It did really, really well, and as a result, they've incorporated a lot of gameplay changes based on what the fans have said to them. So the first stage of the demo is going to have some new challenges and the opportunity to fight for the mysterious Mark of the Conqueror DLC, as I've already said. The warriors who conquered Usuki and procured the DLC during the alpha won't be left wanting either, as they will receive a set of weapons and more starting money. So these champions will also have the opportunity to play through the new Nakatsu stage without having to clear Usuki again. And the new stage leads the protagonist along a treacherous mountain path to a deep cave where he must prevail against human and supernatural enemies alike. And there's also going to be an opportunity for them to, the experience gained from that should equip them with skilled players for an even more challenging undertaking called the Twilight Mission, where you can actually revisit Usuki or Nakatsu, battle against stronger enemies and as new fearsome creatures, but also higher rewards for that as well. So there's obviously going to be new weapons as well. There's going to be a long-range hand cannon rifle and a fresh selection of katanas, including the dual-wield katana. So Darth Maul fans, you're going to be happy there. You've got spears, axes, hammers, in addition to additional suit in the gameplay style. There's going to be new armor. There's elements of combat. There's special techniques. And to better prepare players for the trials ahead, there's a training dojo as well, which has been added to the demo. And this teaches newcomers how to fight with a katana, and they also have choices on how to navigate through the game. So that's available right from the start. So yeah, there's going to be a lot available for that. The game is actually scheduled to launch this year, and it's in development exclusively for the PS4. There's more details, but you can expect that demo to come next week following Gamescom. NBA 2K17, the European team list has been revealed. So 2K and the EuroLeague Basketball, they've announced the collaboration, and it's going to feature 21 of Europe's top teams for the first time, including all 16 competing EuroLeague teams for the upcoming season. So that's going to include Alba Berlin, you're going to have Anadolu Efes Istanbul, Brose Bamberg, you're going to have CSKA Moscow, FC Barcelona Lhasa, you're going to have Real Madrid, Unix Kazan, and many, many more. So the NBA 2K17 Standard Edition will be available in both digital and physical form. It's going to come out on September the 16th, so you can get it next month. There's also the NBA 2K17 Kobe Bryant Legend Edition, which is going to be available as well. And then there's the Legend Edition in Gold, which gives regular NBA 2K17 Legend Edition, and you're going to have additional bonus items with that as well. So keep your eyes peeled. In further 2K news, they've announced that Frederick Barbosa will lead Germany in Sid Meier's Civilization 6, which launched on October 21st for PC. Now, Frederick Barbosa was the King of Germany and Holy Roman Empire for nearly 40 years. He used organizational skills and military intellect, which sought peace in Germany while helming 6 expeditions into Italy in defiance of papal authority. He assimilated several Italian city-states, ultimately claiming direct imperial control before settling peacefully with the opposition. Despite tensions with the church in his advanced age, Barbosa answered the call of the Third Crusade and eventually perished in that campaign, but his heroism earned him legendary status in German folklore, in which it is said he sleeps with the Kvasa mountain and will return to bring Germany to a golden age. So you can find out more about that on the official Civilization page. Now, away from 2K, we've got the Banner Saga, which is a game that's already released and has gone to much acclaim on consoles now as well. The Banner Saga 2 now has actually got localized versions, so you can actually play the game in German, French, Italian and Polish, and that's available for Steam, PC or Mac. I'm unsure at the moment whether that translates to the console releases as well, but localized builds will also be available very soon for GOG and Origin, so those who've been waiting to play the game in those languages can now do so. Bluemouth Interactive, as Australian and New Zealand distributor, are now working with Lucid Sound range exclusively. That's actually going to be part of a global expansion strategy, and the Lucid Sound LS30 wireless universal gaming headset, which has already proved very, very popular with gamers, is now actually going to be distributed as well as the new LS40 wireless surround universal gaming headset. This is compatible with PS4, Xbox One, PS3, 360, PC, Mac, mobile, and it's going to feature refreshing design. There's going to be less bulkiness about it. It's going to be more comfortable. It's going to be slightly more innovative, more style. There's going to be better channel hopping technology and an advanced 2.4 gigahertz uncompressed wireless technology for the best in sound quality. So yeah, you can expect to hear more about from that at Gamescom. Shifting gears again, we're going to go to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Now, you've probably seen a bit about this already, but there's going to be a Zombies in Spaceland level added to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and if you pre-order the game in advance, you're going to get early access to this. So you play as one of 4 classic 1980s archetypals in a radical action-packed journey. This is so Far Cry Blood Dragon, it's unbelievable. But you've also got a real 80s themed trailer with an 80s soundtrack from Frankie Goes to Hollywood. There's a roller coaster minecart ride in there. There's 80s themed costumes from the Poindexter to the popular high school freshman. It looks pretty great fun. I mean, you've got some fun weapons in there, you've got some interesting looking designs, and it's all in the kind of amusement arcade. And if you actually pre-order it, you also get the terminal map as well as the Zombies in Spaceland map. So yeah, it also looks in great fun. The soundtrack seems great, the look and style and the aesthetic seems really cool, and it's a real contrast to Call of Duty's kind of space warfare, which we've been promised and teased about already, and I'm sure we're going to find out more about what Infinite Warfare is at Gamescom. Hitman Episode 4 Bangkok is now available. It's a Club 27 mission. It gives you a detailed hotel to explore. There's going to be lots of interior suites, tropical gardens, rock and roll targets, and disguise opportunities. There's 75 challenges, new gear, weapons, and items. It seems like a pretty full episode and expansion, as we've already come to expect from the Hitman episodic series. There's actually going to be more to come from this from us, because we're actually going to do some coverage soon to show you a bit more. But for now, you can download that if you already have the season pass, or if not, you can purchase it separately and get involved. The Hitman games have been great so far, so we strongly recommend you check that out. Now, another big story at Gamescom has been Dead Rising 4. Now, this is Microsoft's exclusive at the moment, although it is coming to PC, we found out as well. This comes out on December the 6th, and we've now found out about some of the pre-order availability as well as some of the exclusive DLC which you can grab. So you can pre-order the Dead Rising 4 Standard Edition, and that includes exclusive X-Fist DLC, which look a bit like the Hulk Fist, a bit like they use the Hulkbuster in Age of Ultron. You can also use the Exo suit, which you grab in that. There's also exclusive weapon DLC for the Steampunk Snowman head and the Candy Cane crossbow. So obviously there's a very Christmassy theme throughout Dead Rising 4, so you can find out more about through that. But yeah, it launched on December the 6th, and as I said, you can get all that extra content if you pre-order the game now. It seems like it's going to be pretty good fun. This is Dead Rising through and through, and yeah, it's pretty worth it when it comes out for Xbox at the end of the year. Battlezone VR is going to get a retail release through Rebellion when it comes out on October the 13th. Now, this is probably the poster game for PlayStation VR, and obviously as a result, PlayStation put a lot of investment and support behind it. So this is arguably the biggest VR title, and it's going to be the real reason to purchase PlayStation VR in October. But as a result, I mean, this is the classic tank battle that you've already come to know and love. And as a result, you know, Rebellion, they put a lot of funds into this, and there seems to be a lot of action-packed fun going into it. The game looks great, and I'm sure the PlayStation VR experience will really enhance that. I've yet to check it out myself, but I've already heard great things from people who have, so that's going to be really exciting. And the retail release is going to come out on October the 13th, so keep an eye out for that. And if you are picking up PlayStation VR, Battlezone VR seems like the thing to go for. It's also been announced by Square that NieR Automata will be making its way to PC and Steam in early 2017 alongside the console versions of the game. So this is the highly anticipated follow-up to the 2010 cult classic NieR. I know a lot of people didn't know about NieR, and this was a bit of a surprise to them during E3, but for those who do, my god, the shouts and screams hit the roof. So it tells the story of androids 2B, 9S and A2 in their battle to reclaim the machine-driven dystopia overrun by powerful mechanoids. It's developed by an all-star team from producers from Dragon Quest and NieR. There's people who've worked on Final Fantasy and Bravely Default in there, and there's even composers who worked on Tekken and Dragon Guard. So NieR is going to come out on Steam now as well as PlayStation 4 in early 2017, so you're going to want to look out for that. That's about it for the moment, as I say, for the moment, because there's going to be so much news coming out of Gamescom this week, so we're going to be jumping on news as it comes in, especially the Microsoft and Sony conferences, and maybe we'll get a hint on Nintendo stuff, although a lot of people have been speculating NX details are going to come at the Tokyo Game Show in September, but we'll wait and see. We've been surprised by Gamescom before, but for now, thanks for listening and watching, and we'll catch up with you next time.